Hallmark Playhouse, starring Rosalind Russell in Louis Brumfield's Mrs. Parkington.
No matter how many years your face records, the past, where you are always young, is only a memory away. Leaping Rock, Nevada, is 67 years back into time for me. But I have only to close my eyes to be that age again, to live those hours over. I have only to close my eyes to see my mother shutting the kitchen door and leaning wearily against it. I have only to close my eyes to see Major Parkington, our star boarder from New York, coming in the kitchen door. He had on a silk shirt and a purple cravat and a checkered waistcoat and a diamond pin and a diamond ring and a gold watch and chain. He'd sit there straddling a chair while we cooked dinner.
I tell you, you'll love New York, Susie. It's color, noise, excitement, adventure. It's the Arabian Nights, it's poetry, it's music, it's Delmonico's. It's dancing, it's laughter, it's enchantment. It's a city for the young, Susie. A challenging, fabulous city that belongs to anyone who can conquer it.
Was it the moment when I sat in the kitchen telling him about New York and he told me about it that I fell in love with him? That moment, he was a child. Was it in that dark hour after my mother and father died in a mine explosion, when he tried to shut out all pain of loss and death, that I first loved him? That hour he was a father. Or did I wait to fall completely in love that snowy wedding night, when he carried me across the threshold of the Brevoort Hotel? That evening, he was a husband.
Are you happy, Susie?
Oh, Gus, it is like the Arabian Nights. Red velvet curtains and white roses and candlelight.
Oh, Susie, you're so young and so lovely.
I wake to a memory of music and soft falling snow. Across the room, I saw my husband eyeing me over a coffee cup.
Get up and have some breakfast, sleepyhead.
I certainly will. How did that breakfast get in here without waking me up?
Came by magic. I waved my hand. There it was.
Oh, I'm so hungry.
Here, have some coffee. I sent a note to a friend of mine asking her to come and take you on a shopping expedition today.
Her?
Uh-huh. Espazier Conti. She's a French woman who knows more about everything than any woman has a right to know about anything. She'll help you in a lot of ways.
Help me?
Susie, darling, I'm a very rich man, but while money can buy a lot, it can't buy everything. New York is a tough place. We'll have to fight for what we want. I've always had to fight. I don't mind for myself. But I want to make it easy for you. Well, that must be Espazier.
Hello, Gus, darling.
Susie, this is Mademoiselle Conti. Mademoiselle, this is my wife.
I'm very happy to know you, Mademoiselle Conti. It is a pleasure to meet the wife of my very good friend, Major Parkington. She is much more beautiful than you deserve, Gus.
I want you to take her out and buy her the most fashionable things in the city. Because tonight I'm going to show Susie New York. And I'm going to show New York Mrs. Parkington.
And it was all he said it would be. Music and laughter, poetry and waltzes. Winter melted into spring, and my life was at its springtime, too. And when I learned that I was going to have a child, it seemed to me I had reached the fullest happiness that can come to any woman. I began to wish then that we could leave the hotel and find a small cottage somewhere outside the city. I told Gus, and that afternoon he drove Espazier and me down to 34th Street.
Here we are, Susie. Oh, careful now.
I'm all right, Gus.
Well, I don't believe I know anyone at this address.
What is it? A hotel?
How does it strike you as a cottage?
A cottage?
It strikes me as being just about what would strike you as being a cottage. I'm not so sure about Susie.
I bought this today as a surprise for you, Susie. You may not believe it, but this house has 30 rooms.
30 rooms for 2 people.
Well, don't forget there's going to be 3 of us pretty soon.
Well, even so, we don't need 10 rooms apiece.
Here, look at this door. Solid mahogany.
Merciful heavens, what a hall! I've never seen such chandeliers.
Oh, Gus, the gas bills are going to be ferocious.
See that staircase? Marble, every inch of it. You like it, Susie?
Like it? Oh, Gus, it's a palace.
I knew you'd love it. Come on, let me show you the rest of it. Here's the ballroom.
Oh, what a room for a party.
And I'm giving a party in 3 weeks. I'm going to have the cream of New York society. Oh, it's time we launched ourselves. We've got the house, we've got the money. Vespasier, you can help me with the guest list. And Susie, you'll stand right there by that window in a white satin gown. There'll be flowers everywhere and music playing and the best people in New York bowing before you.
3 weeks later, I stood in that ballroom in my white satin, with Gus and Aspasia facing an empty room. There was a Dresden shepherd and shepherdess on the mantel behind us. And suddenly Gus picked up the shepherd and hurled it across the empty ballroom. Gus! Oh, Gus, how could you? How could you?
No, they didn't come. They'll pay for this, every last one of them.
Gus, I feel a little dizzy.
Take her up to bed, Gus. The evening is bad enough for her without you shouting and carrying on like that.
It doesn't matter, Gus. It doesn't matter that no one came. I'm just so tired.
You had better carry her upstairs.
No, I'll be all right. I'll be all... Oh.
Susie.
Carry her upstairs to bed. I will send one of the men for the doctor.
Gus.
I'm here, darling.
I'm so tired, Gus.
I know.
Why don't you go outdoors and walk? I'm all right, the doctor said.
I'll pay them back. If it takes every cent I've got. If it hadn't been for those snobs, I might have had a son today. And you wouldn't be lying there with all that pain behind you and nothing to show for it.
Gus, the doctor said it was because I fell. It would probably have happened regardless of the party.
Dirty, rotten snobs. Susie, I swear to you, I'll pay every one of them back.
There was nothing I could say, or anyone else could say, that would ever change him. I forgot about the episode as the months and then the years went by. And Herbert and Ellie and Alice were born. And it wasn't until long ago, much later than that I found out that he'd been getting his revenge. That was an hour when I feared him and almost hated him. An hour when I met a completely new Major Parkington. Gus, have you seen the newspaper? Prominent financier commits suicide. Radnor Beaumont dies.
Yes, I saw it.
He was one of the people you invited to the party, wasn't he?
Yes.
According to the papers, he was facing bankruptcy. It can be very dangerous to refuse an invitation to a party you give, can't it?
Very.
Goodhue Blair's cousin was here. She begged me as a favor to ask you not to ruin her cousin. She said he would kill himself.
Goodhue Blair won't kill himself. He hasn't the guts. I'll try to explain it to you. Those same men would have ruined me just as ruthlessly. They were trying to do it, but they weren't strong enough. And I can tell you one thing. If they had, I wouldn't have hanged myself in a cupboard. I'd have gone back to work and made another fortune.
He was an ambitious man. Ambitious for himself, ambitious for his wife, ambitious for his children. They went to the best schools, dressed like royalty, and had everything money could buy. I tried to keep him from giving them too much, but he was determined they should have all the things that neither of us had in our childhood. And they certainly did.